Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to talk about a core Swift feature, optionals. We'll break it down using real simple Swift code. So let's get right into it. Let's start with this line. What does this question mark mean? It means the variable email is an optional string, meaning it might contain a value or it might be nil. This is Swift's way of making us handle uncertainty safely. Why? Because in the real world, data is often missing. For example, a user might leave an email field blank or an API might not return a value. So Swift says, let's be cautious. Let's not assume the value is always there. Now, let's say we want to find out how many characters are in this email. We could try calling email.count directly, but remember, email is optional and it can give nil as a result for calling count on email. That can crash the app performing further processing. So instead, we use optional binding and optional chaining. Here's what's happening. Email.count is optional chaining. It means if email is not nil, then get its count. But that means its result will still be an optional. If let is optional binding, it checks if we actually got a value from this email.count and then safely unwraps it. This is the safe and recommended way to work with optionals. Now let's look at a not so safe way, force unwrapping. The exclamation mark says to Swift, I'm sure there's a value here. Just give it to me. If you're right, it works. If you're wrong and email is nil, your app will crash. So force unwrapping should be used only when you're absolutely certain a value exists, like after checking it with if let or in temporary test code. Now, let's say we don't want to crash. We also don't want to check manually every time. So Swift gives us a super useful shortcut, the Nil-Coalescing operator. Here's what happens. If email is not nil, display email gets the actual email. If it is nil, we use default at example.com as a fallback. This is incredibly useful in UI code or when dealing with optional data from user input or APIs where you want to guarantee a value without force unwrapping. Let's quickly recap what we learned. An optional might contain a value or it can be nil. Use optional binding and optional chaining to safely access and unwrap values. Use force unwrapping only when you're 100% sure. Use nil coalescing operator to provide a default value if the optional is nil. Optionals are everywhere in Swift, and once you get the hang of them, your code becomes much safer and cleaner. Thanks for watching. If this video helped you understand optionals better, give it a like. Subscribe for more Swift and iOS content. See you in the next video.